All right, guys. Next, we're going to talk about random number generation. It's going to come in huge for us, so this next section is really important. Random number generation is basically it shows up in a lot of advanced statistical methods. Subsampling was one of the first ideas of how to deal with big data. If you have millions and millions of data points, why would you need all of them? Why wouldn't you just use a subsampling that any computer could handle? And that's what a lot of people still think. It's not the right thing, but it's something. You'll hear me talk about TRT, the right thing. That's a TTD, a thing to do. The idea is if you're going to do something, that's a possibility. It's not a right thing, though. What I'm going to show you now is the sample function in R. It's what we're going to rely on to do advanced statistical methods. It's what we're going to rely on to create subsets of data for us. There's a lot of different things it can do, so I want to make sure we understand it. First thing you want to do in R is set your seed. What the seed is, it's where the random number generator starts. My random number generator is different than yours. If we start at the same place, though, in R, it's going to work for us. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sample the numbers 1 through 20, and I'm going to take 5, and I'm going to sample without replacement. So think of these as your original statistics problems. If I have 20 balls in a bowl, and I want to pick 5 without replacement, I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to set it down. I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to set it down. So every time the bowl gets a little bit small, or the number of balls in the bowls get smaller, that's without replacement. With replacement is you take the ball out, you write down the number, you put it back in, you shake it up, you go pick again. It's a possibility of drawing it again. Every draw you take, there's 20 balls, right? So it's something to think about. What the seed does is it starts our computer at the same spot. It starts it under the same mechanism. That way you can run the same numbers I can. For reproducible research purposes, this is extremely, extremely, extremely important because it means we're going to get the same numbers. And we're going to talk about it in a bunch of different ways. Now, if I set my seed at 10, I'm going to say out 1 says sample the numbers 1 through 20. I have balls 1 through 20 in my are numbered 1 through 20. Select 5 of them without replacement. And then if I look at it, here's the numbers. Our first ball that came out was 11, second 6, third 8, fourth 12, fifth 2. Okay? So why would we want to do something like this? Well, the idea is bootstrapping, cross-validation, all these different things that you're going to hear about moving forward depend on subsampling. Okay? Now, if we want to generate from a random number distribution, you've seen me use R norm. You've seen me use R unif. You've seen me use all these things. But what it's going to allow me to do is going to allow me to go pull. Now, I give you some discussion about how numbers are randomly generated from distributions. You generate them from a uniform and then you plug them in. But we can also do R norm and things like that. As long as you set your seed, it's going to be reproducible. You set your seed, it's going to hit over and over and over again. And you guys can look at that part. If I do this, if I do set seed 10 and run R norm, it's going to give me the same 2 numbers. Set seed 11, run R norm. It's 2 new numbers. If I do set seed 10 again and do R norm 2, notice I get the exact same numbers as I did it the first time. You do it again, gives you a new set of numbers. So the idea is set seed's going to be reproducible, and you can put any number in you want. You can do set.seed -11, R norm 2. And look at what it gives you. It gives you 2 new numbers. So it's a modular. Typically, you'll see me put things like dates in just because that's what comes to mind, and I'm just thinking of a number to get it set. Or you'll see dates that are important to me. Typically, I'll use my birthday, my son's birthday, my wife's birthday. All these different things. Just a number that means something to me, and I'll throw it in there. So it's just the number that comes off the top of your head. There's no rhyme or reason. You're just trying to set the random number generator so it could be reproducible the next time you run it, okay? If you keep doing this, you'll get different results. If you don't set your random number generator, you get different results. Now, there are situations where I don't need you to see the same result over and over and over again. I'll do it differently just to show you something a little bit different or just to show you how a function works. But in the places where we care that number generation matters, we got to be very, very careful with it, okay? All right, guys. Let me know if you need anything. Let me know if you have any questions.